Okay, hey, welcome back with the crew, Staple Crew, Brent and Dad. We're going to cover a little subject today that's really kind of on our minds anyway, lately, a lot. And it's a basics of becoming a crypto entrepreneur, if you will, or owner, business, however you want to look at investing and the future of crypto in your life. The hodler. If those of you who don't know what that means, hodler is a term that's created because of crypto, and it's basically hold on for dear life. And sometimes it's exactly what you have to do.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
We're right there with you, crew.
Make sure you got something to grab a hold of when you get into these trades. So today we're going to start off. Hey, Brent,
hey, Dad.
Why are you a hodler?
Why am I a hodler? We were talking about this earlier, and I love gearing up to do this show, and started doing the Ivan on Tech Academy, and putting in the time and energy and hours into understanding what is going on. You know, I've always, you're that kind of person too. I just want to try to understand what is going on in the world. And he and I have always had a fascination about it financially, how financial systems work and how they can work, and how, you know, people like us can hang on to our energy and maximize our ability to do things, and our ability to have the things that we need and to not be strapped, you know. And so going through this process, and we were talking about like how many hours we spent studying crypto, and my guess is I'm somewhere at like 1,000, you know. I'm getting there. And the old man here is has gone well beyond, and it's fun. But what I've seen in that time is the potential, and not just the potential, but like what is actually happening, and has already happened, to what can happen in the future is like. And you said this earlier, Dad. I got skin in the game. This is what I personally want to be invested in, among other things. But this one is, I never did Forex. I never got into stocks. You know, I'm 35 now. It's not a good word for it, but I would say I've been pretty conservative. I waited to do credit till I was older. Mostly just saved. Mostly spent my money and did the things that I wanted to do. You know, it's been a great life. But now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, you know, you get into family mode, you get into, you know, wanting to save, you get into wanting to do all the things that I was just talking about. You want to find a way to create wealth. You want to find a way to create the ability to put your money in good places. So that's where I'm at with it, Dad. That's where I'm at with it in my life.
This is a good place to be.
You know, it is.
It's really good.
I think so.
Yeah, we're having fun, you know, sharing it together. It's like, it's so rare and unique that people get to share their, like in my generation and older, well, the children can't be around the table when we're talking finance, you know, as if it was some special thing, you know. It's so neat to be able to share it with your son and your friends and your family. It's much more open than it's ever been before, talking about the market, what's going on, finance, what are you invested in. Everyone's a real estate investor at this point, it seems like. Well, you got to own a home, right? So it's fun to be a hodler, if you will. We're hodlers with houses, right? So I feel the same way about crypto. You really need to hang on to it. That's my opinion. I really like that Brent gets that, because a lot of people like to get in and just trade, work trades, and you're constantly trading and moving your account. And I don't think it gives you a stable base to build an economic future on. You're only as good as your last trade, you know?
I wanted to open you up on this, Dad. You brought up buyers versus sellers. And we were making the connection of, to be a hodler, you need to be a buyer.
Yeah.
And traders sell. They buy and sell. And they try to guess what the market's going to do and hopefully have enough knowledge to be able to capitalize in the moment. But I want to know, open that up to you, Dad.
Every trader in the world will tell you it's pretty easy making the trade. When do you get out? That's the hard part, you know. Unfortunately, a lot of people that are new to trading, they get out at a loss. They get nervous, they get scared, and if you bought it at 50 and you sell it at 48, on top of commissions to make the trade, getting in and out, there's commissions of buying and selling. You've lost more than just 2 points there. And not to mention, I mean, unless you're looking for a loss, some people might be, you know, tax write-off or whatever. But if you get into a trade and you don't sell the trade, we were just talking about this not long ago, you don't have to pay capital gains on that trade. So if you think that you know the perfect time to get out, let's say it doubled. Let's say you bought it at 50 and it went to 100. You're like, wow, I'm so excited. What are you going to get into? You're going back into the dollar.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to pay tax on that 50% gain. Okay, or double, 100% gain, sorry. And you're just saying, oh, okay, well, I don't care. I made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. When do you get back in? Now it's doubled, and you're like, well, gosh, it seems expensive to me now. Mm-hmm. What did you do with that 100% gain? You know, did you buy a car, or did you buy a house, or just, you know, the car's a depreciating asset, but we won't get into that. But like, you're also, when you're trying to find the perfect time to get out, our basic rule is if you're at a loss, don't ever get out.
Yeah.
If you're trying to stop the bleeding, that's just ridiculous thought. Like, just assume that you lost the trade and until it comes down. And we were talking about Jeff Bezos earlier today, which is, he was in, I think he had Amazon for 6-8 years or something like that. It went down 95%. Don't quote me, but right around 2003 or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Went down 95%.
Did old Jeff sell?
He didn't sell a thing. He did sell a thing.
It's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
You know?
And he believed in his product. And he believed in what he could do, and he wanted to hang on to the shares of Amazon. And now he's done pretty well with that trade, I'd say. He and his wife.
Is he the richest person on the planet now? Is that the...
Yeah, I think he is, yeah. Must be. He's up there.
Wow.
So, and that's something they all have in common, right? Like a lot of the wealthiest people in the world, they weren't traders. Nope. There's not a bunch of that. Not a bunch of those. They bought Manhattan, you know, and they held on to it for generations.
Yeah, the millionaires and billionaires that I know, we've both worked in yachting and worked with billionaires, and they bought a lot of real estate, or they, leveraged themselves to be able to put themselves in a position to buy a lot of real estate.
Right.
Or they invented something and they bet on it. You know, they believed in it.
Yeah.
That was their.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't come close to selling it. I know some of yours did, Dad, in cases, but it was like.
Yeah.
When you finally get that obscene number, it's like, well, okay, this is more money than I'll ever need. Hopefully this will beat inflation in my lifetime. You know, that's how much money I've made from this. That's how much fiat I can have now.
Yeah.
That's one way. We've talked about like medical emergencies. If you just have to get out, if you have to leverage, you know, or if you have to borrow against your Bitcoin, that's what we like to suggest is like us all getting into the mindset of like, well, we don't sell our Bitcoin. We just don't sell our Bitcoin because in the coming time, there's going to be so many uses for us to be able to borrow and to loan and to, you know, to make money from owning it, from having possession of it.
Right.
And
it's a great little thing that I've talked about before. It's if you want to buy something, first of all, that this is an investment. So you don't sell your investments to buy Starbucks in the morning. You know, you know, if you own a football team, you don't sell a percentage of your football team to buy a house. You know, that's not what you do. You know, you take a loan against the football team, which is worth now, gosh, I don't know, billions of dollars. And you take a loan against the team and you pay it. You buy whatever you want. And then, you know, you pay the loan back with the profits of the football team. And that's the best way to handle Bitcoin because if it's going up 200% annually, why would you sell it? And if you did sell it, what would you replace it with that could ever, in your wildest dream, consistently produce 200% annually? You know. Yeah.
I don't know. Can you guys tell us? You know,
great.
Please leave us some comments on what you could potentially average over a long period of time, 200% annually. I mean, that's incredible growth, and we believe that it's just getting started, and that's a big reason. You know, I feel like I always bring this up now on every show, but it's why we're so passionate about sharing it with you and bringing you in and you being a part of this conversation. You know, is we're very excited about the future, and the more time we spend in it, the more we're like, wow, this is just a great way to go.
It's good stuff.
We just want great ways to go for each other. You know, my dad, you know, he wants to see his son do well. I want to see our friends and family do well, you know, or we're all in this together.
It's a great opportunity, and I think it's really a once in a lifetime deal. You know, if we could turn the clock back 100 years, there'd be a lot of things that I'd look back and I would have bought. Amazon for one. But like if you look back at like I believe it's the Rockefellers, right? They bought all of Texas up. Why? Because they knew there was oil under there. Well, they still own it all, you know, because they're pumping oil out of it. That's an opportunity that they saw. They saw that the world was going to need oil, and they're like, well, okay, we believe that the world's going to need secure money.
Yeah.
You can't just keep printing money out of thin air and expect that people are going to value it. It's losing value annually. Well, they came out and said, what, 4%, right? Last week they said, we've achieved 4% inflation. What they're not telling you is that's 4% you lose annually on your bank account, on your dollar value. That's not a good position to be in. Why would you want to be in a leaky boat?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I've been reading 24% for 2020.
Yeah. That's what they printed.
You know, and then you look at things like data fraud. You look at things like where there are holes in the boat. When you're looking at this old game, when you're looking at playing the fiat game, which has been around for a very long time, like this is what happens. The holes get in the boat, and it's in people's nature to try to advance their position. You know, we are too with hodling and crypto, and but in terms of being hodlers and where we want to go with you guys today, it's about investing so that we can create a system and form a system with all of us that moves forward in a way where there's less holes in the boat. There's in some cases nil chances of making a hole in the side of the boat.
Right. Sound money.
A trustless system.
Yeah.
No need for trust. It's removed.
Yeah.
So things like fraud are removed. Corruption.
Double spending.
Yeah.
It's a big issue. Selling the same share of stock to two different people. Sounds crazy, but it's occurring daily. You know.
Yeah.
They just print more shares. You know. Who knows how many shares there are of Apple out there? I mean, they say they know, but I mean, do they really know?
Mm-hmm.
I believe they try to keep a good number on that, but it's diluted. And if you know how many Bitcoin there are and will ever be, you have a solid foundation to which you can judge everything against it. And that's why it's gone up the way it has and the way it's been accepted. And more financial institutions are wanting to trade it. They're trying to get the whole thing on a futures market and everything else. Well, it was in a futures market in 18, but it's they're trying to get ETFs so you can trade it daily. And they know why, because it's sound. And there's not much... There is no inflation in it. Well, no, that's not correct. There is inflation in Bitcoin, but it's very minimal. And it's a precise number that diminishes over time.
Yes, exactly.
Until it's all been distributed, and then there aren't anymore. Which is...
The reward systems having
yeah,
those terms.
What do you want to talk about when it comes to hodling?
I like when he and I both got together and we're like, man, hodling episode. We're in the beginning of this show, and what are we really passionate about? How do we invest in ourselves and in this show to get ourselves to a point in the future where we're successful with the show. We're building and gaining knowledge that is really rich and that we can share with you. And one of the things I was trying to conceive of and wrap my head around was the 4-year. I don't like rules. Let's just say the 4-year plan.
4-year plan works.
4-year plan, and in my head, I love my high school. I miss my high school, but I had to go there for 4 years. Okay, 4 years that you spend in high school. Can you set aside an amount of money that you don't feel like you're going to need to survive?
Yes.
To exist, to go to school with, to feed your kids, to put clothes and backpacks on your kids, is there a chunk of money that you've saved? Doesn't have to be a lot. That you can forget about for 4 years. Can you do that? And that's a question I started to ask myself when I told you guys my first, big investments and my first really, I have to get into this was crypto.
First skin in the game, yeah.
First big skin in the game. I was like, crypto. I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna invest. And in my head at the time, it was like the people who have done really, really well. They're not. Yes, there's traders who do incredible, and there's traders that we would love to share with you guys again in the comments, and we'll throw some of those people at you. But my thinking was, I want to set aside this money for 4 years. the people that we know who are buying Lambos, and we've heard stories of people buying islands, and all these things. They rode the the volatility. Keep
That's
hearing
right.
the volatility. It's like, well, everything's volatile. Look at the dollar right now. It's not volatile in a good direction. It's like, well, is that going to recover? How are we going to change how we do things so that becomes stabilized? Whereas with, let's just say, Bitcoin, we've seen great downtrends. We've seen 2018, 73% downward.
That was a
yearly
rough year.
Rough year.
It was a tough one.
Year before it gained 1,300%. And so.
So the average of the two is over 1,200%. Not bad. Not a bad 2-year span.
Let me pitch.
So that's why you have it for
4 years.
at least
Crypto, holding on to for 4 years.
4-year plan.
That's personally, and then I'll grow my mentality and my plan from there. That's where I want to pitch you the football, Dad, is long-term versus short-term mentality. 2-year plan, 4-year plan.
And
what do you like?
And one of the best ways to go about that really is to dollar cost average is a term that, if you don't know what that means, you should really look it up. But just buying a little bit that you can afford each month, $20, or to some people that might be $1,000 a month, whatever it might be, and just forget you have it. Again, it's like Brent was just talking about. It has to be money that you're not going to need, and whatever that is, it can just be a small amount of money. Dollar cost averaging is do it every payday or every month, and just look at it and go, okay, I'm going to put $50 a month in. Well, $50 a month at 1,200% return year is crazy.
That is crazy.
And it accumulates, and you're accumulating over a 4-year plan. Now, back to the question, short-term trader. Okay, short-term trading, even day traders trade 2 to 3 day trades. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty much considered a short-term trade. But if you're that person, one of the things that really bothers me when I see people get in, I got into crypto trading, I'm Robinhood or whoever you guys are out there, you know who you are, and I'm learning how to trade. Well, I traded for many years on the Forex market, and it's a brutal place to take your lumps and learn how to trade, but I did. And I became successful in the end, which is, huge, because I believe it's 97% of people that try to trade the Forex fail. The biggest reason why we fail is for all those same reasons. Fear factor, you're not disciplined, you're not understanding. Almost everybody we know that we turn on to Bitcoin and they get in, they're so interested, they see it drop 20 or 30% and they want to sell it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
We saw that this year. It goes to 60,000, corrects back to 30.
Yeah.
People lose their minds,
Right.
And like what we were saying is that's short-term thinking. That's not Jeff Bezos thinking.
That's not what he did.
Yeah, that's not what he did. He
worked out for him.
He spent the time and did the research and saw the future of what could be, and in his case, they made that happen.
So if you think that you're going to get into crypto trading or any kind of trading, and you're going to be proficient at it to begin with, it's not likely. It's really not likely. You're going to have to spend, I was telling Brent earlier, you're going to need 4 to 6 hours a day for months to learn that skill, because you're trading against people that have been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
And maybe you're a quick learner, and maybe you're the
Exactly.
person that can really pull that off. But most people, it's not likely. And I know all of us get all excited and we have a couple of winning successful trades, but a lot of people don't take into consideration. I'm going to go down the trading angle just for a little bit here. A lot of people don't take into consideration the commission in, commission out, your stop losses. Oh, I have a stop loss. Okay, well, what is that? 5%, 2.5%, 10%. So each time your stop loss is triggered, well, at least I didn't lose 30%. That's right, but you lost 10% each time. In 3 losing trades, you've lost 30% of your account.
Yeah.
Plus commissions. And what's worse than that is you've lost what we were just talking about. You've created fear. And you've created doubt in your mind, and now you start saying, well, I'm not real good at this. And then you start gripping just a little bit tighter, and then you're not taking the next trade that is successful because you're not staying disciplined. And if you want to be a successful trader, which I have been in the past, you have to be A, very disciplined. B, you have to have dozens of hours, literally all 24 of them, to stay in contact with the market. Because those 30 and 40% drops can happen in a 24-hour period, and you're off water skiing for the weekend, and your account got triggered again, so your stop loss got hit yet again. And what did it do? It stopped right there, and then it turned around the other way. Well, you were out water skiing, and you didn't get back into the long trade going the other direction. Those are tricky things to do. And unless you really want to sit around a computer and learn how to be a trader, and then learn how to trade and be disciplined, if you want to do those things, and if that's your future, and if that's the type of person that you are, that you like to be in front of a screen, and you like the competition of doing those kind of things, you can do very well trading. I'm not saying nobody should ever trade, because great traders are really good traders. But now the other side of the thing that I'd like to talk about. Most people don't know this, but there are very few human traders any longer in Wall Street. They used to ring the bell in the building, and there were traders, just going crazy, and, I'll take this and I'll buy that, and that doesn't happen anymore. That stock exchange floor doesn't trade like that anymore. You're trading against algorithms, robots. And if you think you can outsmart those guys, well, good luck to you. But it's difficult. You're trading against a computer who is sitting there, like I just said, 24 hours a day, waiting for the perfect entry and the perfect exit. And then also what happens is exits get triggered, and it triggers another one, and then next thing you know, you have a 20 and 30% fall.
Let me add to that for you, Dad. So I watched him years ago when he was trading on Forex, and I saw him get so good at seeing and getting into that in and out that he was actually asked to teach it in one of the groups that he was in. And so hearing you say that, Dad, and then coming into like the knowledge, like I've gone through school now and done like trading courses, it's like, holy smokes, like, it's hard for me to even remember 10 rules or to minimize those 10 rules to say like, okay, well, my first one, my most important is like, I'm never going to risk, more than 1% on a trade of my portfolio like that. Okay. And then, so you're thinking about that. And so you're not getting greedy. And then you're thinking about, you're I'm forgetting the name at the moment, of course, because I'm new to it. But, your guides and your gauges in what indicators in your tools that you're going to use.
Yeah.
And, so I watched you become so proficient at it, but now you're sitting here talking about hodling crypto.
That's right.
You're sitting here talking about not doing that.
Yes.
And I watched you become very, very good at it. So in a way that he explained it to me, and I wanted to do it because it was just like, wow, like this is like a golden goose, right? You come across these things where you're like, oh wow, I can make money at that. But coming back to your point, Dad, you're trading against hardened algorithm supercomputers. Like, are you ready for all that? You ready? That's a balanced breakfast over there. You ready for that?
Good luck on that one. It's, but again, if you're the type of person, we're kind of beating this dead horse here, aren't we? But like, if you're the type of person that is a wheeler dealer type of person, hey, I bought this car for $2,000. I had turned it around, I flipped it in 2 days, and I made $2,000 on it. If you're that type of mentality, you're a bargainer and you have that mind for it, you could do real well as a trader. We're talking to the common person who's got a 9-to-5 job, who just says, how do I get into crypto? What should I do and what should I become and how do I do it? Well, my friend's a trader. Well, just because your friend is a trader who taught himself how to trade and how to be successful, don't try and invest. Again, there's that word. That's the one you really want to focus on. Try to be an investor. Try and have skin in the game, like Brent was talking about. And then you'll learn a little more because you'll be interested in watching videos about it, and learning about it, and reading about it, and reading books about it. It becomes very addictive because it's not just an investment, it's our future of finance in this country. I really believe that to be true. And it's really it's really a beautiful future we have painted here by crypto. And so become an investor first, and then maybe you're the type of personality that actually wants to trade. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And coming back to my point on that, trading I think is really awesome. Like if you want to go and do it, please take Dad's advice on that one. And really do your homework, really research. We're talking about, we're long-term hodlers. We're trying to create this long-term mentality in it. And I think we've done a pretty good job so far, but we've put in, 1,000 hours into it. A lot more for Dad. Just to get ourselves positioned and understanding it's like, okay, well, I'm following trends now, and I'm seeing adoption here, and I'm tracking this over here, and these people are buying it, and so I'm looking at indicators with this as well. I mean, this is the way our economy functions is very complex now, and so I feel like a trader. Even sitting here trying to hodl and like, what's my next purchase gonna be? Hey guys, we realize this one's running a little long. We're gonna make this a 2-parter, and we're gonna post that video back to back for you guys, so you'll be able to just continue watching.
See you on the other side.
We're out right now.
Out.